All right, what's going on, Matrix? This is White Dragon with the New York Jets. Welcome to another episode of Matrix Unplugged. We've got a returning co-host. He took a 2 or 3 week absent. He's the one and only, the millennial, the 20-something-year-old virgin, the man who's terrible at Madden, PB the God. What's going on, Peyton?
Man, what it do?
You're not going to dispute any of that. Okay, cool, good deal.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back. Good to have you back. You guys, this is going to be a kind of long show. We're going to do team bios this week, so we're going to go ahead and jump straight into it without further ado. As always, let's go ahead and do a quick league breakdown. So the league administrators, your head commissioner, that's going to be the New York Giants, mad cow disease. He's been working a lot of hours over the weekend. He's been doing doubles back-to-back, so reach out to the other commissioners up until probably Wednesday. If you're an AFC team, the AFC commissioner is Danny Boy RR with the Oakland Raiders. And the NFC commissioner is the Buccaneers. That's Kendall. It's KEND7LL is his PlayStation ID, but the Buccaneers is the NFC commissioner. Myself, White Dragon, New York Jets. I'm over all of our graphics and media. Buccaneers, they're handling our daddy leagues. The Jaguars are going to start helping us out with some pictures going on here forward and some graphics. So please jump on that, Jaguars. You've been slacking, bro. Trade committee, you have the Colts, you have the Panthers, you have the Giants, and the alternates are myself, the Jets, and the Ravens. Admins, the chat administrator is Alpha Male with the Ravens. The NFC roster and trade tracker is going to be the Rams, so anything that's going on as far as transactions, he's going to be tracking that. And then the Dolphins is taking care of all the roster transactions with the AFC. So this week we're doing something a little bit different. We're not going over stats really or standings. We're doing team bios. So I want to do an in-depth breakdown of each team, who's who, trying to figure out if we can kind of get some more interaction going on and learn a little bit more about each team. So we're going to go ahead and start with the NFC, and we're going to start with the NFC West with the Arizona Cardinals. Jam Roz 37. He's an OG. He's been with us since day one, Peyton. He was with us back when we did our draft lottery way back in July. And let me tell you, he has really built a good team this year. The first 2 years, he was hot garbage. I think he went 1-15 both years. Absolutely terrible. But he was running around crazy with Kyler Murray. But he's got it in the right direction. He's made a lot of trades recently. He signed some players. He's got some good defense. Got some better offense going on. But Jam Roz 37 out there with the Cardinals, definitely doing much better. I think he's got more wins this season than the first 2 years combined. You got anything you can throw in for the Arizona Cardinals for me, Peyton?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. He very solid player. I played him. I almost lost to him. We came down to the last 30 seconds. He played a hell of a game. He's gotten a lot better. Users got a lot better. He's finally figuring out what's going on as far as offense, defense, what scheme he wants to run with. So I like how far he's become.
Excellent. Good stuff, dude. He's a perfect testament of people that are bottom dwellers for a couple of years, and he stuck in there and he proved his GM skills and he turned it around. So you guys don't get discouraged. He started from the bottom. Now look where he's at. So let's keep it on moving inside that division. We've got you, Peyton, PB the God with the LA Rams, the reigning Super Bowl champion. All right. You've got Todd Gurley out there, absolute monster. You're solid at QB. You've got depth across the entire team, and you've got Aaron Donald, Mr. 99. You're running that division out there. I really can't say anything bad about you. You're a good GM. You started with a good team, though, but you maintained that good team. A lot of people start off with a really good team, and after a year or two, they get exposed because they're trash-ass GMs, and they end up quitting the league. We actually had some guy quit earlier, but anything you can throw at me about yourself there, Peyton?
If you can stop me from running the ball, more likely you'll beat me. But I got a pretty good defense. But I just need to get better on as far as passing the ball. If I get better passing the ball, I probably won't lose. But that's if you can stop me from running the ball, more likely you're gonna beat me.
Yeah, I need to learn how to pass the ball too, man. That's my weakness. But
yeah, right.
Anyways, let's keep it moving. Good luck out there, Peyton, our defending champion. Moving on to the San Francisco 49ers. Good Money Red 89. That's Theo. He used to work with us up at the job in Atlanta with Southwest. He's original guy with us. He's played in leagues with us before, but he fell off before. There's times where he didn't really have interest, but this time he is totally into it. I'm really shocked, and I'm really proud of the guy. He's given you and Seahawks and all you guys a run for your money. He's beat some heavy hitters. He's just got to work on consistency. So he's got to. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Go ahead, my bad.
He's got a rookie quarterback that looks absolutely ridiculous. He's got a superstar X-Factor rookie quarterback, good run game with Breida, really solid young defense. You got some stats or some numbers you can throw out there for me, Peyton, for the San Francisco 49ers?
He's actually leading the league in passing touchdowns with his quarterback right now.
Wow, okay.
So he's usually been a runner. I played him multiple times. I see he's trying to establish a run game with Breida and Coleman, but that's good to look at to see that he's leading the whole entire league in passing. So he's definitely upgrading his game. He's sitting at 4-4 right now, with second in the division. But as long as he keeps it up, say he wins about 6 to 7 more games, he'll definitely make the playoffs.
Yeah, in a 32-man league, going 500 is challenging. So if you can just float around 500, props to you. Really good job. Let's keep it on moving. We don't have a Seahawks anymore. Bricks, he left the league. He said he had stuff going on. I think he just got exposed that he wasn't a good GM. Sorry about that, Bricks. If you're hearing this, join back up. But we need a Seahawks. So if you guys have friends, sisters, mothers, fathers, uncles, priests, or whatever that like Madden, send them our way. We have a new thing we're going to start doing. If you bring in a new user and they play at least 8 games or they finish out the year, we will clear your cap penalty for bringing in a new user, or we'll let you have +3 awareness for any one player on your team. So we have an incentive now for bringing players in. We got to keep these teams full. Also, let new users know if they join the league, we'll clear their cap penalties. Once we get to the off season, we'll let them make whatever cuts they need to do, and we're going to clear their cap penalties. A lot of leagues don't do that, but I want to make sure that we have ways to entice people for coming. So moving on, let's go down to the go ahead, I'm sorry.
I was just going to say make sure they're consistent as far as playing the games and staying in, man. You don't want to have he was saying bring so-and-so in, you don't want to bring Lil Joe in, and Lil Joe's in, gets his ass whooped, and he's out of there after the first game.
Absolutely.
That makes you look bad.
Absolutely. And we were bringing in people from Twitter and from Facebook and stuff, and we were keeping the league full, but a lot of people were leaving. We're going to stop doing that shit. We can't trust a lot of these people. We don't know them. They come in, act like they want to play. They get their ass smacked around for 2 weeks, and they're gone. So definitely, if you bring somebody in, they've got to play at least 8 games. Once they play those 8 games, we'll give you your reward, and we just got to know they're going to be here for the long haul. So moving to the NFC South, Sumner X2 with the Atlanta Falcons. This guy is solid. He gave me the best run for my money, other than playing the Ravens, obviously. He defeats everybody, but he gave me a really good run for my money. He beat me. Excellent defensive game. I threw 5 interceptions. He threw 5 interceptions. I think there was only 1 offensive touchdown the whole game. He has got great coverage defense, some of the best coverage defense I've ever seen. His run D is solid. It's not the best, but his coverage defense, ridiculous. What can you tell me about these Falcons here, dude?
He's sitting at 5-2 right now. In most divisions, he's probably be in first place, but in this division, he's actually in last.
Yeah, that NFC South, it is crazy. Something else, man. I'm so glad I'm not part of this NFC South. Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Bucks, you guys are ballers, man. If you guys were in the AFC, you would probably win the division that I'm in. Any division, you guys are just amazing. God bless you for being there. You're just so amazing, so great.
Yeah, that's hard right there. That's tough right there. More likely 2 teams are probably going to the playoffs, or at least want to make it to the wild card.
Maybe 3. They might have 3 teams make it out of that division. Moving on, we got the Panthers. So the Carolina Panthers with Luttrell. Let me tell you, I beat his ass early on this year. Week 1, he was running his mouth, talking trash like he likes to do. He has a team full of superstar X factors, but that really woke him up. He went from being pussycats to kitty cats now. He's not a Panther yet. Not a Panther till he wins that division, but he's got a pretty solid run game. He likes to go up top, but his defense is top-notch. He's sending heat every single play. He's got X factors all over the field. Fantastic defense, and he prides himself on defense. And if he finds out he can expose you, he's going to put up 50, 60, 70, 80 points. So the best thing I can tell you guys, if it's getting out of hand, stop trying to come back, run fullback dive, chew the clock, get out of there, and don't let somebody break records on you. What can you tell me about Luttrell? Any stats that stick out to you with him?
I want to say he's leading the league in interceptions. So that defense, like you said, for sure, he has a solid offense, but definitely prides himself on defense. If you make mistakes, he's going to try to take advantage of you. Like you said, put up 40, 50 points, and he feeds off defense. So
absolutely. And he's an OG. He's been playing with Alpha Male and I for the past 3, 4, 5 years. Since day 1 we were playing, and he's come a long way. So good to see him getting it turned around, but he does like to talk shit. Moving on to another NFC South team, the New Orleans Saints, Great White, 632. This guy's solid. I barely beat him last week. I beat him just by a couple of scores. I was really focusing on building one of my wide receivers. I had a wide receiver with a breakout scenario. But he's solid. He's really good. I see why this NFC South is so vaunted. What can you tell me about these Saints, Peyton?
Saints is really solid, too. He's not on a good streak right now. He started off high. I want to say he was 4-0. I want to say he lost 3 straight. Yeah, he did lose 3 straight. Yeah, he was 4-0 at one point. I don't know if he just hadn't had time and hadn't really put in, like, the time to practice or come up with a scheme. I don't know what's going on with him, but he's still in the race. He just don't fall too far out. That's a hard division to come back on. Yeah,
and I know when I played him, he's a little bit different as far as his gameplay. I know he liked staying underneath a lot, and it was throwing me off a little bit. He had a couple of little underneath screens and checkdowns to Le'Veon Bell, and he took one of them to the house. So I know he's focusing on looking underneath, but I'd like to see him kind of let it rip a little bit more, take some shots down deep. Moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is Kendall. He is our NFC commissioner. This guy is lights out. He is amazing. He's going to get 13, 14 wins every single season. I haven't played him before, but if you could, Peyton, let everybody know how he plays, what's he good at, what's he bad at.
You said the Buccaneers, correct?
Yeah, the Buccaneers.
Oh, man. Really solid guy. That's the only guy I really honestly was worried about in the NFC last year as far as in the playoffs, and it was a solid game. I kind of felt like that was the Super Bowl because he threw it. It came out to the last second. He threw the ball deep and had a one-on-one, and I batted it down, and I won the game. But he'd have caught it. He'd have won. But it was a really solid game. He's really good on defense. He's only allowed 70 points out of 6 games. So, I mean, that just tells you how good he is on defense.
So what's his gameplay like? Does he, on offense, does he like to throw the ball? Does he looking downfield? Does he balance? Does he like to run?
No, he is running it, but he'll throw it up there every now and again. But he has Ronald Jones. I think he has like 94, 95 speed. Yeah. If he makes 1 or 2 misses, he's gone.
Definitely. Well, let's keep it rolling. Let's move on to the NFC North now. The Chicago Bears, Jack Roush, 74. This is Bruce. He's a supervisor with us, but he's stationed out in Houston. Let me tell you, he's been with us since day one. He's very quiet in the chat. He has a great team. He's good at getting sacks with Khalil Mack and some other guys. He recently took a really bad ass whooping. However, he didn't quit. He didn't cry about it. He didn't even say a word in the chat. He took his licks, and he kept it on moving. This guy has got to have the biggest set of balls I have ever seen in my life. So kudos to you, dude, for sticking in there. Didn't complain. Yeah, I mean, he sat there and took it. I mean, he took it. You got to give a man props for that. Like, you got to give a man props for that. Yeah, you know what? I mean, a lot of people would have done that, and your ass would have been playing 2K then. But
and what?
I got to give this guy props, man. Like, that's the biggest set of balls you can. I'm just big old fat hairy ones, man. I mean, Jesus. So just to be able to stay in there and take your lumps like that, hopefully he learned a little bit from that. Maybe he learned, how to slow the game down. But he's been doing pretty well. I know last year he was coming along. He was doing kind of well. Yeah, he had some really solid wins last year, but I know he stays really busy with work. He absolutely has no time to lab or to do stuff like that, but he enjoys playing the game. So this is one of those guys. He's going to keep on rocking with us as long as we play, I'm sure, whether he wins 1 game or 15 games in a season. He just wants to play, and he's trying to get better. He just needs to try to get some time in the lab. Hopefully he'll get some vacation coming along soon, but glad to see him staying in with us. I love keeping OGs with us. Thank you, dude. He's got pretty decent defense up until he played Sherrod, but I think he doesn't have this team that he wants yet. I think he really wants a power running back, and I'm sure you guys hit him up. I know he talked about trading Khalil Mack, and he talked about looking for like a power back and some other things. So he's open to trades. Just hit him up, but he's not going to let you guys rob him. So
if he can hear me, I will sell you Gurley for Mac.
Hey,
and I had.
Right there, dude. That sounds pretty nice. Moving it on to the Detroit Lions, Uncle Serge 81. He drafted a stud this year, Paul Crewe. He is absolutely ridiculous. He's got wheels. He's got an arm. He's got a hidden trait. I want to say he's superstar, but absolutely ridiculous with the pass game. I don't think he runs much. I'm not sure what's up with his defense. But do you know anything about these Lions? Have you played them yet? Can you tell me some numbers or some stats?
I don't think I've played them yet.
Well, what's his team? What's his stats looking like? Does he like to run the ball?
He's 5-2 right now. I'm just looking at his standings right now. So he's at the top of the standings right now as far as that.
Well, really
I'm not
good.
too sure about all the other stats.
Well, good to see somebody's finally taking charge of that NFC North. I know Clarence tried to last year a little bit. I know Clarence is also trying to rebuild and get the team how he wants it, but looks like we finally have somebody who's going to be the consistent powerhouse and going to be sitting on top of that NFC North mountain. The rest of you guys need to try to get up on his level and start pulling him down, but good stuff. Glad to have you in the league. Moving on to the Green Bay Packers, Purple Region. This is Jay Croft. He works with us as well. He rocked with us before in leagues. His only problem, every single weekend he's out of town. Every single. Man, I swear to God, dude, every weekend this guy is gone. If he would just stay home a little bit, just a little bit, and play this game, I think he could go 500. He's got a solid team. I do know that he does some bad contract signings. I've had a few words with him about that. Hopefully he learns from it. He definitely likes to keep his players, and he will overpay them. A lot of y'all try to undercut your players, and they end up walking. He will overpay his players, which can be good and bad because I know he gets strapped a lot with salary. So hopefully he'll be able to get back, get it rolling, win a few games in the NFC North. Anything you know about him?
Actually, I haven't even got a chance to play him either. We were supposed to play one time, but I think we couldn't because I think he went to he took a trip somewhere.
Always taking a damn trip. I do know he's got a good. I do know he's got a good young quarterback he drafted year before last.
Actually, I did play him this year. Damn, we had to restart. We was playing a good game, but I think I took all the momentum away from after the first start. But I don't know. He's solid. I like that team he has. He's gotten a lot better. His defense is solid for sure. I don't know how he's sitting there 1-6 with that defense.
Yeah, his defense is solid, and I definitely think I think he gets a good game going, and then he just starts making mistakes later on. I think he takes himself out of the game, but hopefully he'll get it in the right direction. Moving on to the Minnesota Vikings, G-Nice 11-17. This is Clarence. He works with us also. He's been in leagues with us before. I know he is a big team builder. He doesn't care so much about competing every single season. I think he's always looking a few years down the road. He enjoys building players. He'll ship out superstars to go get draft picks. I really know he's really enjoying being a GM. So anything you notice with his team this year? Are there any stats that are sticking out with him? What's his record looking like?
He's second division right now. He's 3-5, so he's not too far out, but he's got to get some more solid wins. I mean, like you said, last year he took off, but I thought he would maybe maintain the same momentum he had last year toward this year, but hopefully he can recover and do something.
I know he has a lot of rookies on his team, and I know the way he plays his offense, he's very outside the box. A lot of people, you might get used to guys running the ball, at an I form. Guys are going to spread out wide and, different shotgun formations. He does a lot of weird things, a lot of motions, and he'll go to his slot receiver a lot, and he'll look for out routes, things that you don't really expect. So he is a good thinker when it comes to looking at football. I don't think his team has the talent right now because he's rebuilding for the future, but hopefully in about a year or two, he'll have this team ready to go. Moving on to the Dallas Cowboys, this guy had 5 first-round draft picks last year. He was in ultimate rebuild mode. I know that they got rid of some of their big stars, and it looks like he enjoys being a team builder. So he's getting them in the right direction. I haven't played this Cowboys yet. I played the old Cowboys user, but what do you know about this Cowboys? Cal Rob Daruba. I think that's how you say it. My bad if I fucked it up. It's a lot of letters, man. I can't read that well.
He's solid. I played him once. Like you said, he had a whole bunch of new picks, and he's trying to rebuild, so I guess I give him a little time, but it's kind of hard just building when you're just trying to refresh a team. But
does he like to pass? Does he like to run? What's his gameplay style on offense?
I can't remember, honestly. I've only played him once. But when I did play him, he was running the ball a lot. He would pass every now and again, but the majority of it was running because he's running behind some of those monsters on the O-line still.
Yeah, I want to say I looked at some of his stats, and I think he's been using like a running back by committee back there. He's got a couple of young guys trying to see who's going to fill out the shoes that Zeke left when he got traded away. But glad to have you in the league, dude. I like to see people building teams, get it turned around next year. Let's move it on to the New York Giants, mad cow disease. He's solid. Let me tell you, he's got really good defense. He likes to run the ball. But he also likes to use his running back in a lot of pass plays. I think he uses his running back for passes more than anybody else in the league. He's very creative. He gets people out in swing routes. He'll motion them out, get them into screens, get them into curls. I remember when he had Saquon Barkley, I think he was like top 10 in receiving yards both years that he had him. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so I know he gets everybody involved, and he really likes using his running back for things other than running the ball. Anything you can tell me about these Giants?
So yeah, he's solid, man. He beat me this year. I don't know how he beat me, and he's sitting at 3-4 right now. So there's 3 teams right now tied for first place in NFC East. So that division's wide open basically to anybody.
Well, definitely. I know I think he's still using Tyree Jackson, or he's... Yeah, so he built him really, really nice. So he's good at building players. He's an excellent team builder, excellent player developer. So glad to have you here. This guy is our head CEO. I resigned at the turn of the year. I've got some stuff going on at work, and I need to take a little bit of step back. So he's making all the last decisions. I am still involved in the process, but if you guys have any sorts of rule issues, stuff like that, and you can't get it answered by your conference commissioner, you're going to go see the New York Giants. Moving on, the Washington Redskins, Big Cheese 025. We recently added him. He came in late last year, played well in the playoffs. He took over for JT the Boss. I want to say he's friends with, I think, Jamroz with the Cardinals. I know he brought him into the league for us. But anything you can tell me about these Redskins? Does he like to run the ball? Does he like checkdowns? Does he like going up top? What's he play like?
He's a passer, I want to say. Most time when I played against him using Dwayne Haskins, but he has a really solid defense. He's sitting at 3-4 as well. But yeah, he's solid as well. I don't know how all these guys are 3-4 when he's playing tough people, but he's very solid.
Awesome. What about his defense? What's his defense like? I know he traded some players away. I know he had some draft picks from all that happening. You know what his defensive play style is like?
It's been a little minute. I know he's given up a lot of points. He's not too high on defense this year. But
he might be. You never know. You know, sometimes when you look in the stats, you don't know if guys are trying to build players. You don't know what they're doing.
Right.
So, but I do remember him. I do remember him slinging the ball pretty well. So hopefully he'll get the ship righted in the right direction. Now let's switch gears and go to the AFC side. So in the AFC, as usual, every single season we have the top dog, alpha male, with the Baltimore Ravens. This man can pass. He can pass deep. He can bomb you. He can run the ball. He can get the quarterback outside of the pocket. He can be efficient. He can break records. On defense, he can blitz you. He can sack you. He can make you fumble. He can shut down your deep pass plays. He can shut down your run. The only weakness I know is sometimes he focuses really hard on building one certain player, and you might catch a win if he's only trying to build one receiver or if he's just trying to build one corner. That's the only way you're going to beat him, though. Straight up, just playing. I haven't beat him in a long, long time, just straight up without him building. What can you say about the Ravens, man?
Oh, I put that ass whooping last time I played against him. He couldn't figure out that blitz I had going on his ass. But nah, I'm just bullshitting. But nah, it's just against him. If you're gonna beat him, man, I would not say pass the ball. Like, he blitzes. He knows how to. I'm pretty sure he's found a way to stop the run now too, for sure. But when I play him, he cannot stop the run against me. But
yeah, that
defense is solid for sure.
This last time I played him, I was trying to build my young running back that I got in a trade from the Seahawks, and I've got some pretty decent run formations. My first season, I got the AFC Running Back of the Year award with Lev Bell, and this other running back's pretty solid, and I could not get outside. I swear, every single time I broke outside the hash marks, somebody was coming in and hitting me, making me fumble. I was trying to juke, trying to spin, trying everything. I was getting extra blockers out there, using motion, and he just chewed up my runs for breakfast. I think I got one rushing touchdown with my dude, so it was 20-7, but he's solid. If you guys are wondering who the number one is, who's got the target on their back, it's this man, the Ravens. He's also the chat administrator, but he's also pretty open, you guys. If you guys want to learn something and you're being serious about it and you put your egos to the side and stop acting like a baby, he'll help you out. He'll show you some things. He will help you get better because he doesn't know cheats or glitches or money plays. He understands schemes. He plays this game. He knows the game more than anybody else. He builds schemes. You can't stop a scheme, but you can stop money plays. So that's how you tell if somebody's doing some bullshit. If they're using a money play, you can shut that down. You can go figure out how to shut down a money play, but it's hard to stop people that have a scheme. Moving on, the Cincinnati Bengals, Mr. Brian Inc. Keith, he is a World-class shit talker, just like Luttrell. I know him and Luttrell, they are absolute rivals. I mean, they are always going at it. They play for money outside of the league. And Keith, he's solid. He's really solid. He likes to try to run the ball and hit some deep shots. So he likes to run, deep shot. His defense, he likes to spread his defense out. But he's very, very solid. He's been playing with us off and on for a while. But he's really good. He'll lay low for a little while as well, so you might go 2-3 weeks without hearing from him, and then he shows up and he starts swinging home runs. I mean, he's ready to go. What do you know about Keith? Any stats sticking out? He got any players sticking out this year?
You did the breakdown basically, but I haven't really looked at the team too much as far as his team. I'm just looking at standings still. He's second in the league in AFC North right now behind the Ravens. So I mean, he's not too far out of play contention, but he probably doesn't need to lose no more probably than, I'd say, another 2 or 3 to make it to the playoffs.
And I will say this, if there's anybody in the AFC that can consistently be in the same division and throw shots at the Ravens, it's going to be Keith. He's one of the few people that can at least, he'll hang in there with him, and he's going to give him everything he's got, and he's not going to fold to him. Even, I'll be honest, there's sometimes I play the Ravens, and I'm just like, man, whatever, dude, I'm just going to slow this game down. But I know Keith's going to fight. He's not just going to let Sherrod take over that division for nothing. Moving on to the Browns, the Cleveland Browns. That's Dev Pennywise. Don't know too much about him. If you could pull up some stats for him, Peyton, but I'm not sure what he's got going on up there. I know he tried to get some trades going on earlier in the year. He offered a few running backs for trade, but it seems like he's kind of got that asking price a bit too high. He offered a bunch of guys up in the offseason as well. I don't think he had many takers. I do know he had a couple of extra draft picks. What do you know about these Browns?
He's sitting at 2-5 right now in division, so only way he probably can make the playoffs, he probably has to win the next probably like 7 out of 9, I'd say, I guess. So he's not too far out either. But that division's kind of it's locked up, definitely. Everybody's just playing for a wild card spot right now.
Well, it's definitely possible. I think in the AFC, we have a big contrast in the AFC and the NFC. The AFC, I think we have 2 or 3 powerhouse teams. And then we have a lot of guys that are kind of just middle of the pack. In the NFC, I think you have probably about 6 to 8 people that can realistically compete for a championship. So there's a big field up towards the top in the NFC. So he's definitely a guy that can make the wild card. Everybody can really make the wild card out in the AFC. It's always wide open. But
right.
Moving on to the Pittsburgh Steelers, I'm going to need you to pull up some stuff about this guy's recent games. I don't know much about him at all. So I know that the Steelers recently joined the league. So thanks for getting in with us. It's Post Sweet Jesus 81. I love the name. Very unique. I like the play on it. Very nice. The Steelers, we had trouble getting this team filled for a while. I have no idea why. The Steelers have tons of talent. They had all their draft picks. They've got X factors. But finally, I think we've got somebody to take over this team. What do you know about these Steelers?
So I think he just joined. I want to say he beat the Broncos. He beat the Broncos 31-6 when he was 5-0. So that's probably another reason why he left.
Oh, well, you know what? Good job, Steelers. I like it when people beat people so bad they lead the leagues. That lets us know who the hoes are. So get them out the door. Thank you, dude.
And he just played against the Bengals, and he lost by 7. So I mean, he got to be a solid player.
Oh yeah, definitely. Well, good to have you, man. Keep fighting. I know it's going to be your first full year. Look forward to having you going forward for the next 3 or 4 seasons in the league. Moving on to the AFC West, the Kansas City Chiefs, the 31-56. I don't know too much about him. He's out there in Danny's division. What do you know about these Chiefs? I know that he's still got Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill out there. I'm not sure what all talent he's added around, and I don't really know what his play style is. I don't know if he's a passer or a runner. What's the stats looking like? What do you know about him?
So he took 2 L's at the beginning of the year to the Broncos and the Cowboys, but after that he's been lights out, I guess, ever since. He's won 5 in a row, and he's on a bye week right now.
All right, well, very good.
I mean, yeah, he's there.
Well, glad to have you in here, sir. Hopefully you'll give the Raiders a run for their money out west. Let's keep it rolling to the Los Angeles Chargers. The Great Irish, and no, that's not an I, it's an L. So if you guys are looking for him, that's an L right before the R in Irish. I know they lost a few pieces in free agency. I know Joey Bosa is gone. I know they lost Melvin Ingram to me. What else can you tell me about these Chargers? I don't know too much about this new Chargers team that we added in the offseason.
He's sitting at 1-5 right now. I think he's probably took a couple bad L's. I mean, it's not. When I'm looking at his recent games, it doesn't look too bad, but he hasn't really like lost any bad ones. But just sitting at 1-5, it's gonna be kind of hard to make the playoffs unless you just make a big run as far as wins.
Well, every now and then I feel like it's nice, like every couple of years, if you take a few bad L's early on and you go like 1-3, 2-4, 2-5, I think it's nice just to kind of lay low, build your players, pick one or two, pick a receiver or a running back and just spam them, build that guy, try to turn him into a superstar, and then not only do you have that upgraded player, but then you'll have a top 5, top 10 draft pick to go get one of those guys that has a hidden trait. I feel like this year in Madden, it's really challenging to get a really good player late in the first or in the second round. Back in the day, you used to be able to get guys in the third, fourth, fifth, sixth round, but it's really hard to find gems and steals. So, don't take it too personal if you have a bad season. Build a player or two, get everything ready for the next season, and then try to go ahead and increase your draft capital. Moving on to the Oakland Raiders, Danny Boy RR. This is our AFC commissioner. He's out in Vegas. He's really solid. He's been rocking with us since Madden 17. Madden 17. I know he likes to run the ball some, but he doesn't have the running back that he wants yet. I know he's not a big fan of Josh Jacobs. He likes a speed back and a guy that he can pass to out of the backfield. He runs a lot of heavy fronts on defense. He likes bigger guys. He doesn't really care too much about speed on defense, but he's very, very solid, and he's going to keep you guessing. There's a lot of times where he'll throw in play actions, and for some reason, I swear, his play actions always work. I never sack him on a play action. He's got a really wide playbook. He uses motions. He's balanced. He's never going to lead the league in passing. He's never going to lead the league in rushing, but he's always going to be top 15, top 12 in each category. Very, very balanced, and he's going to do whatever it takes to win. Any stats that he's got that's sticking out to you, Peyton?
Like I said, I'm just looking at schedules right now as far as wins. Like, he's 5-1 right now. I'm not too sure as far as I need to go into stats right now and check and see how he's looking as far as position players, I guess, defense and offense.
And he's one of the quieter guys. He's not going to talk shit. He's not going to complain. He's a really cool commissioner, you guys. I'm sure if you're out in the AFC, y'all have interacted with him. He's really laid back. He's there to help you out. And, he doesn't mind giving a force one if he's got stuff going on. What you got popping up? What's up?
Nah, he got Tevin Coleman. Passed, and he got Aaron Rodgers, so if you don't have cards or not, well,
that's solid. Okay.
Yeah, he has 16 passing touchdowns, 16 touchdowns, and he's 5 interceptions, so that's not too bad. That's pretty solid.
Damn, I totally forgot that he went and got A-Rod and Tevin Coleman, so very nice. I know he was trying to build some young players the first couple of years, and I'm glad to see he finally got involved in free agency, and hopefully he's going to get into the trade market here soon, but looks like he's leading that division. Let's move on down to the AFC South with the Indianapolis Colts. DNL42, he's on our trade committee. I think he's 0-7 or 0-8. I have no idea what he's doing on defense. I'm just going to keep it real. He's got solid offense, it seems like at times. He's good at getting his tight ends involved. He's got a decent running game, but he has just got to work on defense. If he works on defense, I know he knows football. He'll be able to compete, but learning defense in Madden is something totally different. I'd like to see him blitz more. He plays a little bit too much coverage. Anything stats-wise that you see sticking out to him?
Yeah, I agree. I played him. He almost beat me, man. He was up, I think, 14 or 17-3. I ended up winning, I think, like 20-17. But he's solid. I mean, he had a pretty good run game. He had a good run game against me. Usually nobody runs the ball on me. So I was surprised to see that. I mean, like you say, probably just need to work on defense, and it'll be a lot better shape.
I think with his knowledge of football, I think for him to take it to the next level, you have to learn to play Madden and not play football. And there's a lot of people you'll notice when they play, they're playing like real football, the types of formations they're using, their play calls and everything, and that works against certain users. But I think if he were to lab just a little bit more and come up with some creative ways to take shots and stuff like that and mix that in with his football knowledge, he'd be dangerous. I think he would be definitely dangerous. The Houston Texans, Mr. Huggins, he's really quiet, but this guy is solid. He beat me in the Blizzard Bowl in the playoffs last year by 1 touchdown. Really solid. He's good at getting pass coverage going, solid pass rush. He's good at taking those shots to Hopkins. What can you tell me about the Texans?
Oh, I played him in the Super Bowl. It was a close game, I want to say, until the second half. It just kind of went my way with everything. But, yeah, he was really solid. He has a good defense, good offense, good scheme. I mean, he has the weapons all over the field on offense and defense. I mean, he's very balanced.
Definitely.
He's still a solid player.
Yeah, he's very solid. I mean, he took me out. So props to him. Moving on to the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Mr. Black 0606. This is Dom. He's out there in Vegas with Danny. Let me tell you, the first couple of years, I had no clue what he was doing. I swear, I think he was just trading people just to trade them away. But I think he learned. I think he was getting adjusted to 32-man leagues. I know he used to play in like 10-man leagues and 15-man leagues. So he's got the skill set, but I think he just had to learn, how to adjust to 32-man leagues and the wide range of play styles you see. But he's been putting some good games together as of late. He's been winning some more games. I think he's got a winning record. You might have to double check me on that one.
Yeah, 2-2. He's 4-2, I want to say. Yeah, 4-2.
So 4-2. I know he recently drafted a really good corner to pair up with Jalen Ramsey. He's got fast linebackers. He's got a solid line. Just don't know much about his offense. I know we played one time in the first season, so I was still kind of feeling him out. The game was new, so I haven't really seen what his game plan's like as we develop. But he's supposed to be helping us out going forward here soon. He's going to start posting just some random graphics. Some stats for players when they have big games, so I need him to jump on that so we can keep the interest high in the league. Anything else you can throw in about these Jaguars?
Oh, yeah, very solid, man. Like I said, sitting at 4-2. I mean, sky's the limit as far as making the playoffs and winning that division. So he's right there. I mean, he's get a couple more wins, good solid wins, and it should be good.
Yeah, so it looks like that division has got a little competition now, so I'm glad to see that. Moving on to the Tennessee Titans, the unbeatable Zoe. He has got a really nice pair of wide receivers, and I don't know why, but I remember these two wide receivers like the back of my hand. They both came out of San Diego State. They were both top 10 draft picks, so he has really good young wide receivers. And I know that's one of the hardest things to find now in this Madden is trying to find wide receivers that have those traits. I've only seen a few wide receivers that even have superstar in this league so far, and I think both those wide receivers, they're big, they've got some speed to them. Haven't played them yet. Do you know anything about these Titans? And if you haven't, can you tell me some stats? How's he looking? What's his play style looking like?
Yeah, when we played last time, it wasn't so good, but he's really solid, like as far as like his wide receivers and stuff like that. He has a pretty solid offensive scheme, but I feel like if he just works on his defense, he'd be a lot. Well, actually, he did have a solid defense. He started blitzing me toward the end. I couldn't do anything. So it's like he waited a little late than he should have. If he just played a little bit more aggressive on defense, they won a lot more games.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. You guys got to start learning some blitzes. This year, you have to send heat. There's no such thing as a nano blitz. There's no such thing as, sending 3 people and getting them in there. If you want to put some pressure on the quarterback, you have to send 6, 7 people and try to get into the backfield. I know I've got a few blitzes. I don't like to roll them out because it leaves me naked. But if you need heat, you got to send 7 people now. It's really hard to get heat with just 5 people or 4 people or 6 people. So for a lot of you guys, try to start putting some more pressure on the quarterbacks on third down. When you get to 3rd and long, 4th and long, some of you are calling pinch buck 0 on 1st and 10. That might work on a few people, but a few of y'all are going to get your ass busted when you run pinch buck 0, man coverage, and you got some of these faster receivers out here. If you guys don't know how to pinch buck 0, I know how to stop it. I lab against it, but I will just say check it out on YouTube, Google it. Pinch buck 0 is the easiest blitz to stop. I can't believe dummies are still using that garbage and people are still getting beat by it. Moving on, the Miami Dolphins, Bizzle BIH 1992. Don't really know how he's got that set up, but anyways, he's been with us since day one, and he's built these Dolphins. The roster is pretty nice. They started off, they had no talent. He was able to draft superstars in the first round in the first year and the second year, so that's really challenging. He was able to do that. He traded to get Ezekiel Elliott. He's building Rosen. And it's really weird. I've had a few games where he's hanging in there with me early on, and it's like he just kind of runs out of gas, come halftime, right after the half. And I think, once he kind of sees he's down, he just kind of, I don't want to say gives up, but he just starts going away from what was working. Maybe he's trying to protect his players so they don't get hurt, but he does talk shit, though. He likes to talk shit. He called me out a few times, and he continues to do it. So I got to give him props because he's not a coward. He don't step down to anybody, but he's got talent on the team. I just think he's got to get a quarterback, and I think he needs to build the line a little bit more. But I know he likes to run the ball. He loves to run the ball with Zeke, but if you had Ezekiel Elliott, what would you do? You would run the ball. But he's a solid runner. He's got really good run game going with Zeke, but he definitely needs to get him an elite wide receiver to pair up with Zeke. You got to have that outside threat to take some pressure off of him. Anything you can that sticks out with the Dolphins you can throw out there to everybody?
I mean, he's sitting at 2-5 right now, but like I said, he's got to get more solid wins. I mean, he's got a lot better and made that team a lot better. So, I mean, probably I'll just give him one more year, and he probably should be very solid across the board.
And he's not going to give up. And I'll tell you, like, he's not going to quit. And he is, constantly trying to improve his team. He's very active in the trade market. So I love seeing people that are involved in trades and off season. So I think he just needs a quarterback and a receiver, and I think he'll be in good shape next year. Moving on to the New England Patriots, GOAT Madden. He's been playing Madden with us since, I can't even remember, Madden 16, Madden 15, way back when. One of the quietest guys in here. He rarely ever trades or does anything to butcher these Patriots, but Tom Brady's retired. A few guys have gotten older, and he finally started making some trades this year. He traded and got Geno Atkins. He went and got a few other defensive ends, finally changing in some of those draft picks for some talent he can use now. I think the biggest flaw with him, he always likes to come out in power formations but pass out of them. So it's good to stop those blitzes from getting in, but then you're kind of limiting yourself because you've only got 3 routes on the field and there's 5 or 6 people in coverage. So pretty much everybody's double covered. So I'd like to see him kind of get out and shotgun a bit more, or maybe into at least like some spread single back formations. His defense is decent. He's got decent defense. I know he's got a really good corner out there. His pass rush is getting a little bit better. His run game needs some work. I know he needs to definitely get a little bit run game going. I know he just lost Sony Michel to injury, but I'd like to see him spread the field out some more, use shotgun some more. Anything you can throw out there about the Patriots?
Patriots really solid. I don't think I played him. Have I? Nah, I didn't get a chance to play him yet. But
you can't say every single person's solid, Peyton.
I don't like downplaying everybody, man.
I feel you. God bless you, millennials. You're so sweet. That's so nice.
Man, but
kids.
like I said, it needs some time in the lab, man. I can't really. He hasn't taken like any bad losses that I'm looking at. I mean, he's like 1-6, 1-5, but I mean, he hasn't lost any game over like 14 points or so.
Yeah, and that's what's strange is he even slows me down. He'll slow me down, and he's good at stopping pressure from getting in. But I just think he needs to think outside the box and get some, get a different offensive scheme going on. But he's never getting blown out by 40 or 50 points, and it seems like he's always within striking distance. So we'll see if he can put something together. I know he's been making some moves lately, but glad to have him here. I know he's definitely going to be active in trades again in the offseason, so you guys hit him up. Peyton, the New York Jets, White Dragon, Gotham City. This guy right here is not the best at playing Madden by any means, but he's a hell of a GM. I took this trash-ass Jets team, and now I have 6 superstars on defense. I've got 4 or 5 superstars on offense, so I am a hell of a GM. All right, I'm just going to go ahead and toot my own horn. I'm going to give myself props. I can turn something. Other way around. I can turn nothing into something. I've been kind of all over the place. Last year, I was really focused on throwing the ball with Robbie Anderson. I was just Robbie Anderson, building my rookie quarterback. Sometimes I focus too much on building my rookies instead of going to actual, real players. I don't know why I do that, but I guess it's just the part of being a GM. Been trying to get the running game going this year, Peyton, but I've been having trouble, dude. This running back, he's different than what I'm used to using. I used to like power running backs, and I'm switching back over to a speed back, so I'm trying to learn how to get it outside. I was used to Le'Veon Bell the first year or two, so this is my first year without Le'Veon Bell. Anything you can say about the White Dragon, Peyton? Anything that sticks out to you?
White Dragon just needs to stay in the lab. He said he's building up these players, but he needs to stay in the lab a little bit and get a little bit better, man. He'll probably be ready for the playoffs soon.
Oh, okay. Well, I did win my division back-to-back years, but I guess hopefully I'll get it again this year. I don't think I'm leading any. I don't think I'm leading any categories this year. I was trying to focus on efficiency, but then I had a 5 interception game when I played the Falcons, so that was out the window. But I'm definitely trying to work on my defense. I've been really labbing my defense this year, trying to learn about different ways to bring pressure. It's been working, and just trying to build my defense. I needed an X factor on defense. I got one of the breakout scenarios for Jamal Adams, but I can definitely be beat, you guys. I usually don't play. I don't want to say glitchy, but I don't play like those one-play touchdown type of schemes. I'm more of like an actual football player, so I can easily be beat. And I definitely think that the next guy we're talking about is coming for me this year.
Right.
The Buffalo Bills, Little Mont 2, he has totally turned this team around in a good way. The first year, there was no talent on this team. There was absolutely no talent. He refused to trade away his draft picks. He refused to trade away the few pieces that he had. And then it didn't really get him anywhere. Then last year, you started seeing a changing of the guard. He started moving some draft picks around. He started getting rid of some older players to get some youth in there. He also started trying to get those big-name guys. He went out and got Mike Evans. He went out and got Saquon Barkley. He's building Josh Allen. And I want to say he's only got 2 losses now, Peyton. You'll have to double-check that, but he has
5-2.
Yeah, he has totally turned this franchise around. And, he was taking some licks early on in this franchise, and I'm glad to see that. He's going to be pushing me for this division this year, and I'm so glad to see somebody coming up in the rearview mirror. We've still got 2 division games to play each other. That's pretty cool. We play them both later on in the year. So this division is totally up for grabs. I got to give him a round of applause. Before he had Saquon Barkley, I know that he tried to get outside of the pocket a little bit, not to run. He would like to get outside of the pocket to attack you and take some deep shots. And his defense, he doesn't send a lot of blitzes, but he's really good at loading the box up and preventing you from breaking off those big runs. So he really does try to stop those home runs as far as the run game, but he does leave himself naked a little bit in the secondary. I know he's totally revamped the team, so I haven't played him yet this year, but what do you know about the Bills?
When I played him, he was pretty solid. Everybody's solid to me, though. But no, he was pretty good. Like you said, he revamped the whole team, changed the scheme of it. Like you said, moved some picks around. So his team looks a lot better. He's sitting at 5-2. He's trying to make a little playoff push. He should be straight.
Oh yeah, he's definitely going to get in the playoffs this year. So it's just going to be up to him whether he's going to dethrone me and take the division or if he's going to take the wild card. So, really good podcast this week, you guys. And I agree with Peyton. Everybody's pretty solid that we have left. The only real bums are the bums that get beat and they quit the league. That shit pisses me off. Why even join the league if you're going to quit? You just go play pickup games, go play mutt. But I'm really glad. I'm really glad to have all you guys part of the league. We've got 30 teams right now. We just filled the Eagles, so new Eagles, thanks for joining. I hope this is a league that you like. We've got a lot of stuff going on. We have a podcast every week. If you guys would please, please, please help us fill the Seahawks and fill the Broncos. If you guys help us get those teams filled, we will reward you and then let people know that when we invite them in, we will clear their cap penalty at the end of the year. Or if they need to make any cuts now, we'll clear it. So, and hopefully it's some friends that you know, some guys at work. I don't want to keep bringing in people from places you don't know where the hell they're at. You really can't vouch for those people. But a lot of stuff going on. We're about at the midway point. Really good year. This is our 3rd season, you guys. We started off, we lost a lot of people early on, but we kept filling it up, sticking it in there. A lot of you guys, definitely. A lot of you guys, started off rough. Your first year, I thought some of y'all were going to get out. And you guys turned your teams around. So good to see teams do that. Hopefully some of you guys who were heavy hitters early on, you don't start falling apart when you're a shitty GM and you want to quit the league. So learn how to be a GM. Learn how to make your trades. Make sure you guys are reading the rules, all right? Read the rules. Please, please, please. Understand the position change rules. Not reading them isn't an excuse, all right? We don't have many gameplay rules, but we are very strict as far as roster positions because we don't want you guys cheating and breaking the game. We're in our 3rd year. Hopefully we'll make it through about 7 seasons, maybe between 6 and 8 seasons, somewhere right around there. We'll play all the way up until late spring, maybe early summer, just as long as we still have the interest going on. And then hopefully the Giants will carry us into Madden 21 going forward. So as usual, you guys, if you have any tips for us, if you have any things y'all want to see going forward, let us know. Be vocal in the chat. Peyton, you got anything for us?
Nah, man. Everything you know what I'm saying, you already talked about. You know what I'm saying? It'll be good.
Definitely. I've been telling it to you guys for a minute. If you guys ever want to be guest hosts, DM me over the weekend so I can get with you and make sure all your mic and everything is set up. We'd love to have guest hosts. We had the Panthers come in a few weeks ago, so that was nice. Sometimes Peyton is, out, doing whatever he does. I think he volunteers at the homeless shelter or some shit like that. So.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it, you guys. Thank you guys for joining. This was Matrix Unplugged. We'll see you next week. Have a good one.
Weezy out of here.